good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's talk PvE. Maybe you're newer to the game. Maybe you don't know what cards to buy first. Maybe you want to build so you can solo legendary bounties. Maybe you just want to play the game and not worry about your health or your deadeye. Well, I got you covered. I got 3 builds for you today that work great in PvE content. I'm going to go over the cards, the weapons, and the playstyles with you. First build, I went over in a PvP guide. Link will be in the top right or in the description. I won't spend too much time on this one. It's a painted black build that is very well rounded. You go for headshots, get loads of health and deadeye back. What's not to love? You can use any weapon in these builds, but I'll tell you which ones I felt the best with. Let's get into the ability cards. Painted black for deadeye. Strange medicine gives you health based off the damage you deal. For the third card, it'll be Never Without One or Iron Lung. Both give damage reduction, while Never Without One is my personal preference because of its usefulness in other builds. But NPCs knock your hat off a lot more than people do in PvP. So Iron Lung is great here, so when you do lose your hat, you don't take more damage than usual. Eye for an Eye is a card that can be used in all 3 builds. I suggest you buy it after you decide which deadeye you want. It restores deadeye whenever you land a headshot. For the weapons, shotguns are used in all 3 builds. Use the pump shotgun, it's good at everything. You can buy this one and stick with it until you just want to switch it up. For the sidearms, use the Mausers or the Navies. Both are solid, you're just going for headshots, and both are very accurate. For the repeater, use the Lancaster. It's viable in a lot of different parts of the game. I'd always suggest buying a jack of all trades weapon first, so you don't have to spend money on other things until you feel like it. Play around painting headshots and you'll be very viable in all content. Get all this squared away, you're good to go. I say this build will be solid for both console and PC. Also, random fact that I found interesting, you can't paint legendary animals, but you can use it to remove bloom, allowing you to spam shots as fast as possible. For the next build, I'd probably lean towards it being better on console, but still solid on PC. The cards will be Quite an Inspiration, Fool Me Once, Eye for an Eye, with the last card being a preference. Quite an Inspiration gives you the ability to heal while dealing damage. You'll be practically immortal while your deadeye is active. Eye for an Eye to keep your deadeye up. In theory, if you hit your headshots fast enough, you can keep it up for a while. You could try kicking the butt for a similar effect, but you aren't actively trying to get hit, and Eye for an Eye is a more commonly used card. Fool Me Once. If you find yourself getting hit a lot, you get a lot of value out of this card. Stacking damage reduction every time you get hit during constant heals, it gets better the more you get hit. For the preference cards, I got 3 ideas for you. Gunslinger's Choice if you want to dual wield and primarily use sidearms. Peak Condition would help you keep your stamina up while providing a small amount of damage, and Unblinking Eye would keep your deadeye up longer. For the weapon, use the same as the other build. You can sub out the repeater for a Carcana or a rolling block. They'll allow you to play safe whenever you run out of deadeye. Just fall back, get your deadeye up, and then play aggressive again. I would not PvP in this build if I had the choice. But if someone wants to grief you, this build combined with defensive mode would be pretty annoying to kill, if you can manage to keep the health going up with Fool Me Once stacked on top of it. For the third build, I have a slow and steady build. It's similar to the second build, but instead of healing, you have an active defense. The cards will be Slow and Steady, Eye for an Eye, Fool Me Once, and Strange Medicine. Slow and Steady is the only deadeye card that gives you damage reduction. This combined with other cards will make you extremely hard to kill. It provides you with active damage reduction, but because it drains deadeye whenever you're damaged, get into the habit of turning it off when you're not in danger. Eye for an Eye can be used to offset the quickly draining deadeye if you're comfortable with headshots. If you aren't, run kicking the butt. Fool Me Once gets a lot of value out of this build, making the health you have more efficient, and Strange Medicines to keep your health up. The weapons are the same as the other builds. So the upside of this build is that you can take a lot of damage. The downside is that sometimes you can get pressured into needing consumables more often because of the deadeye drain. I want to wrap this up with some tips I thought of while recording for this video. If you need to restore deadeye, use chewing tobacco instead of tonics. The animation is quicker and they're cheaper. Minty big game meat goes a long way. Fortified cores provide health regen and max health. And people have asked me about this, so I'll go over this. Defensive mode keeps you from being locked onto or being painted, but it also keeps you from locking on and painting. If you're being griefed or you're not interested in PvP, you don't have to play by any code of honor or anyone's rules. Use frustrating tactics, set them on fire, make them chase you. Don't hit them first, it'll take you out of defensive mode. Make yourself so undesirable to your opponent that you tilt them into leaving you alone. Kill their horse. Use explosive rounds. If they're sniping, use cover. Break line of sight so they have to come to you. Hopefully this can help some of you guys. If you made it this far, thank you. If you enjoyed the video or learned something, like and subscribe, it'll help the content get pushed by the algorithm. If you have any questions, success stories, or ideas for future videos, Let me know in the comments or on my Twitch or in my Discord. My schedule is on the screen. Links for them will be in the description. Good luck grinding and see you soon.